Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In this video I would like to explore FlightGear, which is a flight simulator that runs on FreeBSD. Okay, let's do it. If you didn't try any flight simulation before, we need to talk about a couple of basics. I'm not an expert in flight, but I do like to read some books on the topic, and here is one of my favorite books, which is Rod Machado's Private Pilot Handbook. And I'm selecting here a page because this has a really nice picture, figure 47, on the three axes of an airplane. In particular, the pitch, the roll, and the yaw. To play FlightGear, we are going to need to use a joystick. Here I have a ThrustMaster 1600 or 16,000. And it has quite a lot of buttons that you can see here. I'm not an expert with webcam, so the video quality might be a little bit bad, but I hope you can see at least. So there are a couple of buttons here, so 6 in total. 6 more here. There is some mechanism here, also some additional buttons, and you have a couple of axes, so going forward, going backwards, one side, another side, and you have the rotation. Okay, and we need to configure the joystick in order to play FlightGear. Although it's possible to play it with a keyboard, I find it extremely difficult. Therefore, getting one such device, which might cost between 60 euro to 100 euro, is for me a must. So one of the things I would like to start with, and I'm going to be drawing some things on this paper. Please don't mind my childish drawings. I'm not able to do better than this, but I'm going to try to draw an airplane here. Okay, this should be a wing. Here. Then something like this. And something like this. Okay. So what we have here is an axis that runs through here. If we consider the center of mass being here, then we have another axis here, and we have the vertical axis. Okay. So according to the picture we had before, if the airplane goes like this, okay, so if it is tilting on this axis, we are talking about rotation here, and we're talking about the roll. If the airplane does like this, up and down, we're talking about the pitch. And if the airplane does like this, sideways, is here, we are talking about the yaw. The yaw. So this is my childish picture. Now, the airplane has some things to control this. One of them is here. Another one is here. Okay. Then we have also some parts here. And you have some parts here. Okay, so let's first focus on these ones here. And it's like this. The ones that are mostly on the outside, which if you imagine, if the part goes up, if this is the airplane and this part here goes up, the wind hits it, and this means that it will start going in this direction. We'll start doing something like this. So, and those things are called the ailerons. In order to land, you also have some things that typically they are coordinated both together. So while the ailerons are used when one goes down, the other one goes up, and etc. You have another thing so-called flaps, which either both go down or both go up on the same side, on the left and on the right side of the plane. The center of mass is here, so you have another two elements here on the back of the airplane, and this is called the elevator. The elevator. Why is this called the elevator? If you see that the airplane, the center of mass is here, if this part here goes down, it means that it's going to start giving the airplane a lift, because the air is going to hit the elevator and it's going to lift the tail, and therefore it's going to pitch the airplane down. On this part here, we also have one part that's on the tail that can go left or right, and if the air is going in this direction and if this part is on this side, then it's going to start yawing to the clockwise direction. This element here, it's called the rudder. Okay, so those are all elements that we need to know in order to control the airplane. The rudder, that will give the yaw, the elevator, which is going to give the pitch, and the aileron, which is going to give the roll. Now I'm going to draw the joystick, because we're going to need to configure it here. And I'm going to do the following. We have 3 buttons on this side, and on the other side we have some other 3 buttons. And here we have the handle. We also have this part here. So let's see. I'm going to start drawing these elements. So on this side we have 3 buttons. Okay, it could have been drawn better. On this side here we have some other 3 buttons. Okay, here let's do it a little bit better. I'm sorry, the lighting might not be very optimal. Then we have 4 more, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This one here I'm going to ignore for the time being. So we have a couple of buttons here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, let's draw it like this. Then we have the main handle, goes forward, backwards, right, left, yaw. So this is going to be the joystick, the main one. Okay, and it can either go in this direction, so this forward, backwards, and I'm going to put a circle here. It can either go sideways, which I'm going to put another circle, or it can do a yaw, which is already a circle by itself. So it has this direction, that direction, or it has the yaw. Finally, I'm going to write the last piece, which is this potentiometer here that can go up or down. And I'm going to put a circle. The things that have circles are axes. So we have 1 axis, 2, 3. And the things that have some boxes, these are going to be the buttons. All right. How do we get to know which ones are which? Let me go here to the system. So I've installed already FlightGear. And what I'm going to call now is the Joystick JS demo, which is pre-installed with FlightGear. Once you start this, it's going to tell you it has identified the joystick, and you have here, so the joystick has 6 axes and a couple of buttons. All right, so now before doing anything else, let's go again back here, and I'm going to move the joystick back and forth, and what you're going to see is that axis number 3 is changing. Okay, there is a little bit of movement in axis 2, but most of it's axis 3. So backward and forward is axis 3, which is this one here, axis number 3. Let's go back and now put to the right, to the left, and this is going to be right and left is axis 2. Okay, 2. The yaw, which is the twisting motion here, this twisting motion is going to be axis number 4. So I write here axis number 4. I'm just missing one last, which is this one here, going back and forth. So let's try it. This is axis number 5. Goes from -1 to +1. Okay, so let's write here number 5. So we have all our axes identified. This is axis 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to start to identify the buttons. So for that, buttons are 0 based, but here they are put, this is a hexadecimal number. So number 1 means button 0, number 2, button 1, number 4 means button 3, and if we have number 3, this means I'm pressing 2 buttons at the same time, 0 and 1. So I hope this is understood. So this is a binary situation. So I'm going to press this button here, okay, and let's have a look here at the buttons, and we see number 1 is appearing. So this is button 0. Let's write it here. So this is button 0, and this is on a square, so this means it's a button. This is on a circle, it's an axis. Let's press this one here down. So this down here means the button here, okay, and if I press there, I get button number 2. Okay, so this means that this is number 1 here. Let's do a couple more. Let's go for this one here. So again, going back to the joystick, I'm going to press the button here, which I hope you can see. I'm not sure. So if I press here, I get 4, which is the binary for 100. So this is number 3 here. Okay. If I press button 0 and 1 at the same time, I should see number 3, because this is 1 plus 2. You can imagine this being 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, and etc. Sorry, of course I wrote it here wrong, so this would be 8, so this is number 2. Okay, this is number 2. Okay, so this would be 2 to the power 2, which is number 4. So let's see. I now press both the buttons forward and backwards at the same time, and I should see 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 0 plus 2 to the power 1, which is going to be number 3. If I press the other button at the same time, which is this one here, those 3, this here, this there and that there. It's 1 plus 2 plus 4, 7. Okay, that's what we see here. Okay, let's do this a little bit faster. Let's press the button on this side. This is 8. So we were at 4. 8 is 2 to the power 3. So this is number 3. Okay, so we are here is button 0, button 1, button 2, button 3, and now I'm going to start pressing the buttons here, and let's see where does this go. So let's start with the button, the inner one here. This is 40. Okay, let's first try to search. The last one we had was 8. So let's try to search for 10, because that would be the number 4. This is not 4, 8, 1. 10. 10. I found it. And this is the button here. So if we look at the things, we are basically at this edge. This is button number 4. I write a 4 here. I've done this already before, so I can say that this is 4, 5, and 6. So 4, 5, 6. Then we go here to 7, 8, and 9. Then we continue here on this side, number 10, number 11, number 12. Then below 13, 14, 15. So since we have starting at 0 and the maximum one is 15, actually we have 16 buttons. Let's see, this, and then here in this direction, down that direction, then starts here, starts here, goes here, then here, there. So let's just see that the numbers are all matching correctly. So I'll press 0, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So those are all the buttons that we have. And we are now ready to configure. We have all the information that we needed here. So let's set this aside for a bit. We don't need to have a look at webcam for the time being. Okay, so either you are lucky and your joystick comes already pre-configured in FlightGear, or we need to talk about where to configure the joystick. So for that, I'm going to change to root, and I'm going to go to /user local share FlightGear. This is where everything is located. Here we have one directory, which is the aircraft. We have here another directory, which is the input, which is going to be important for us. And we have another directory, which is Nasal. Nasal stands for not another scripting language. Yeah, the last two letters are a little bit confusing, but that was what I could find about the Nasal language. We are going to come to this point in soon. Let's go to the input directory, and here you can find inputs for the joysticks, for the keyboard, for events. So in this case, we go to the joystick, and you might find your joystick here, some CH, some Cytec, Trust. There is the ThrustMaster, although my joystick did not get recognized. But that's not a big deal, because we can just define things by ourselves, as I was just showing you here. So we go to the default joystick, which is here. And we just look at joystick XML. So there are a couple of files here. Don't worry, this is the important one. And this is already defined with the settings for the joystick. So let's see. here we have the axis number 2. Let's try to remember where is axis number 2. This is this one here, left and right. So this is going to do things like that. And what was this one here that we discussed? This was the aileron. Okay. So let's go back. Axis number 2. Description is ailerons. Yeah, there is some deadband, so you can see here how to define this, how to look at these things here. You have lots of examples from the other joysticks, so you can search on those things. Or what is most important is this property. So it's on the controls, flight aileron. And it just says what is the factor, what is the offset, and basically when it goes left, right, and so on, it just does what it's supposed to do to control the aileron. We go to the elevator, and we have here, again, I copied this from some other part. This is axis number 3. This is the most important thing. Okay, again, let's look at this thing here. So this goes up and down, and this is going to be the elevator or the pitch, and it's the elevator here. Okay, let's continue. Axis number 4. Let's again have a look. Axis number 4. This was the yaw, which is the rudder. Yes, the rudder. Okay, and here we have the configuration. And finally, last but not the least, axis number 5, which was this lower part here. I want to assign it to the thrust for the engine. So more power, less power to the engine. This now enters into another command, which is the script controls throttle axis. Okay, how do we look at those controls? So let's stop for a little bit and try to understand the Nasal. So Nasal directory, Nasal language, sorry. And here, let's go back a little bit. You remember I said there is a Nasal directory. So these are the default settings from flightgear. And within this directory, you're going to find that there is one file that is called controls.nas, nas being Nasal. Let's open that directory, and this is going to give you lots of functions on how to control those properties. So to start the engine, select the engine, etc. And we were just in the one that was I think the elevator. Was this the elevator? Let's search for the increment elevator. No, it was not this one. So inputs, joystick, default joystick, throttle axis. So throttle axis is it's defined as a handler for the control engine throttle. Okay. So this is what you're going to get here from this variable, and what you see here is you have calling this this function, and you can have a look at the definitions where these functions are defined. Button number 4, so let's go a little bit faster. Button number 4 is I assign it to this one here. Okay, so this is something up. Then I have number 9, and I think I assigned it to 10 and to 15. Let's have a look. So number 4, number 9, this is the elevator trim and the elevator trim. So this is +1 and this is -1. So this is trim up, trim down, and these are the flaps. Okay, so in this case it's the opposite, so flaps up, -1, here it's flap down. This is number 10, number 15, as I was saying, so buttons 10, number 15. And now we go to the other buttons. So let's have a look. This is button 0, so this is the fire button, okay, number 0. And this has the, basically when I press the button, it toggles the brakes on the left and the right to full. This interpolate means go to full brakes within 1 second, so it's a linear interpolation. And when I let it go, so the up, when I let go of the trigger, it goes back to 0 also within 1 second. Number 2 for the brakes, so let's see here. Number 2 is this one here. This one here means left brakes, okay, and the script is very similar. Here it's go to half on the left brake within 1 second, and when you let go of the button, it goes back to 0 also within 1 second. Number 3 here, okay, we have the same thing but for the brake on the right side. And I think that's it. I just searching here for something that I wanted to specifically discuss. Yes, this was the trim. I missed that one. The trim, this is a function, so controls elevator trim, which is going to be button 4 and 9. Okay, so this is on this side, button 4 and 9. And the thing is, when you press the button, the action happens once, but I want the action to be repeatable. As long as I'm pressing the button, the elevator trim is basically trimming. And therefore, you just write here repeatable true, and here repeatable true, and then the trim just happens. All right, enough of talk. Let's go for the airplane. So let's start another console. FG FlightGear Flight Simulator Launcher. Okay, so this is okay, you can just ignore all this setup. So in this account, it's the first time I'm reading. All right. So let's just wait a little bit. All right, so here we say OK, and then we have our menu to start. Let's see if we can make it, yes. The FlightGear Flight Simulator, and here it gives us a summary of the aircraft. Here I highly advise you to go to the so browse, let's see, add a hangar. Yes, and here you're going to see that you have the Airbus 320 family. You're going to have yeah, lots of airplanes which are really nice. In this case, I'm just going to go for the C172. No aircraft, so let me see here the 172. Yes, it's here. The Skyhawk, this is pre-installed, but we could install some additional ones. Okay, so we just select this one. Okay, and let's go for a location. I like to go LPPR. Okay, let's see if yeah, Porto. The thing, let's put the airplane in on the runway. So here, this is the initial place where the airplane is located. This is a VOR point with frequency. For the environment, let's just leave it as it is. Here, very important, so do not start paused. Okay, connect to multiplayer, download scenery automatically. Yes, we want that. So show more here on the default server. Start full screen. We can have this, or we might not want to have it. Here we can add some additional settings, for example, telnet port or etc. Add-ons. Okay, so if you want to download some aircraft from the internet, etc., you can have all of the things here. All right, I think we are ready. So let's click on fly. And it's now downloading the scenery, as you can see.
Welcome aboard. Need help? Use help tutorials.
Okay, so we are in. The first thing I would like to know is if my joystick is properly configured. Here it's identified, and you can see user local share, flight gear, default joystick, elevator trim, etc. All looks awesome. Let's try to test this, if this is working properly. So let's go here, and you can see the yoke. And now what I'll be doing is I'm going to be moving the joystick here left and right, and you can see, let me see if I can, it's not optimal. Okay, and can I do the other way around? No, it can also not work. Okay, let's put it like here. And now what we're going to see is the yoke here. Go to one direction, other direction, go forward, go backwards, and we need to look a little bit more down. I think it's a little bit dark, but you can probably see the feet are moving like this. Okay, so it's confirmed, everything is working. All right, so let's put the window back here. The first thing I would like to do is I would like to put this in full screen and go back. Let's start. Okay, the sound, the mouse, the scenery. I think there was some option here for the view rendering options. Compensate field view for wireframe. No, we don't want that. Atmospheric light scattering. I think this was the one I wanted. It's a little bit dark in the airplane, so maybe what we can do is we can start at another time. Let me just do like this. So exit flight gear, yes. We do the launcher again. So let's go down, and what we can choose here is on the I think location, on the settings, where was it? The environment, yeah, current time. Let's start it in the morning here. So I think the light will be a little bit better, and let's just fly. I could have just selected to start full screen. No problem, with the magic of video editing, I will make this full screen. And this moves everything to a full screen. And yeah, we can see it a little bit better. So one of the things that is really nice is to press Control C, which gives us all the locations where we can press buttons. So for example, here we can open the window, yeah, etc. So let's close the window. Here, yeah, so I'm moving around with the right click and the mouse. Okay, to go up and down, you can press on Control, right click, up and down. So this is going to allow to move in this direction. Okay, let's go up a little bit. And here, if you see, there is this area. Okay, there is this area here, and it gives you show hide yoke. Okay, we can click here. We know already it's working, so we don't really need this anymore. Or we can press the letter Y. Pum, it also disappears. So let's take out these things and let's start the airplane. For that, again, this is, don't take any flying lessons from me, because I'm just learning things. So let's start here. let's first concentrate on the panel down here. Okay, so the first things you would like to do is turn on the battery and turn on the beacon and the strobe light. So this is going to, let's see if this is, oops, okay, yeah. So this gives the beacon here outside, so people can know, okay, this airplane is hot. So someone is doing something there. Navigation lights. So now we're going to turn the magnetos here. Okay, so magnetos to both, and we're going to prime the engine 3 times, should be enough. 3 times. Then we turn our attention here to the mixture. We put maximum mixture, and with the throttle, so if you remember, let me see, do I have a button? Yes, so here with this one here I can control the throttle. Let's put a little bit of throttle, let's put it at 10%, not more than that. And I think we are done here. So okay, unforeseens happen. I needed to stop the recording, and now we're going to continue. We were just about to show how to take off with the airplane. So let's start FlightGear Flight Simulator launcher. Let's review again the parameters very shortly. So we have the Cessna 172P. This is the favorite aircraft. We're going to start from LPPR. The environment I set to today in the morning, in the summertime. Here I don't need to do any other things. Start, we don't need to start paused, enable, okay. So multiplayer not needed. Downloads, let's do the downloads. This time I'm going to select the option start full screen, and yeah, I'm going to select the so start full screen, no folders, and let's click on fly. Let's see. Okay, starting now the flight simulator. As I was just saying before, this is a relatively complex flight simulator. It's really, really nice. The other one I really like to use is X-Plane, which is very realistic, very cool. But flight simulators, FlightGear is a GPL. It's completely free, and you just need to install it. PKG install FlightGear data, and you have a full-blown, really nice flight simulator in FreeBSD. So let's go again down. So I was showing last time that we can have the right click and move the mouse one direction, the other direction, or press the control, and we can also move even outside the airplane a little bit. Okay, so we can do something like this. Okay, so now let's go again inside the airplane. Okay. Control C shows the areas that we can click. Okay, so let's go for the PWC view. We had this thing here, so you can see that okay, you cannot see actually. Let's lower this window. Okay, why is this happening like this? I don't know. Let's move this part here, and let's go there, and you can see while I'm moving the joystick, so forward, backwards, right, left, and yeah, the rudder, it should be down here. It's a little bit difficult to see with these colors. It's not really optimal. Okay. So let's lower this window. Let's do again Control C, and either we press here, it should appear in the menu. Let's have a look. So here in the base of the yoke, so it should be show height, not yoke. And either we can click here or we can click the letter Y. Let's then start airplane, and again, as a disclaimer, don't take flying advice from me. I'm just learning as I'm going, I don't know really how to do those things. Leave it to the professionals. But playing a game, everyone can do it, right? So we start with the batteries. Let's go down again, and here. This is the part of the instrumentation that we really need to focus on. So this is the battery, and in real life I think you turn on the beacon, the strobe lights, I guess so. So if we look at the outside, okay, this is this light here that would be showing to people around, be careful, this is just about to start the airplane, or yeah, it's active. The thing here we need to do is the magneto, so we put it to both. The next thing would be the mixture, so we can go with the mouse here back and forth, a little bit difficult to grab it. So the reason why you should definitely be using a joystick is those things are really tough to click and to find the right position, and you really need to have accessories to do those things. Otherwise, in the flight, you cannot just stop mid-flight and focus on pressing some buttons. This will not work. Good. Now with let's try to see now with the thing here. So going back and forth, we can see probably here the throttle. Okay, so we need a little bit of throttle. Let's put here a little bit. Okay. No, this is not the window I want. Let's go back to the flight simulator. Can press F10. This menu here is going to go away. And now let's try to start the airplane. So with this thing done, we still need to do primer here. So the engine primer 1. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3 times should be enough. So primer 3, and either rotate here or press the S key to start the engines, and we should see the rotation here. So start. All right, it looks good. So let's position ourselves in the cockpit. We can also type in shift. Let's get the key. So shift and the keypad. So 7, 8, and so on. And let's try to get those things. So here we look at this in this direction, etc. Okay. Okay. Now it's. So we stay here. This is the parking brake, or capital B. So once I let this go, we can start flying. Before that, let's again go to this area here. This is the trim for nose down, nose up, nose down, nose up, and this is the trim that we selected, and the flaps is here. Okay, so this is the other buttons that we selected for the airplane. All right, so we don't need those instruments, but these 3 ones here are the most important to navigate, and therefore when I put the airplane like this, I like to see all those 3 elements here, all those 3 gauges. there is one thing, of course, I forgot. This is not a professional thing, so I'm not going to do anything here on this direction, but we should definitely put the avionics on. So we should turn on the avionics, okay? So let's try to go here up, okay? Orient ourselves a little bit. Looks good, looks great. And press capital B and increase the throttle. There we go. We start going, so a little bit brake. Okay. I need to learn how to put a webcam at the same time. As you can see, my flight is not very stabilized. Now here it's the time when we take off. We are going parallel, so we should be climbing. This is the indicator for climbing. And there was a little bit of a moment there that we were not really climbing, but now we are at 500 feet per minute, I think. Okay, nose up. Yeah, you can see the track is already on this side. It's definitely not a stable takeoff. But then again, I'm not a professional pilot. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to circle around a little bit. Okay. So using the joystick. Yeah, I'm going way too much. Okay. I'm still trying to understand how all these things go. All right. Now the airport is there, so we are taking off like that. Here we are still going up. We are, I think, at about 300 feet, so relatively low, going direction south. Yes, this matches my experience in real life. Not with an airplane, but with the city itself. So now let's see, here the airport is gone and now it's Gonski there. So let's look forward and let's try to start doing a turn. Okay, so this is the turn indicator. Okay, going down a little bit. Yeah, that's not very good. I need to learn how to fly. It's just a hobby. So let's try to make it a little bit so that I'm not descending too much. This says 2 minutes, so if we are doing the turn there in 2 minutes, we should turn completely. If I'm not mistaken, that is the sense of it. It's a so-called 2-minute turn. Good. We can start. Where is the airport? There is the airport. There it is. So we are, yes, we can sit already forward. So let's, we need to go a little bit. Ooh, the passengers would be screaming now. Let's try to lower this. So lower the flaps a little bit. I'm going to use the joystick to do it, but you can see here, one time down. Okay. This is the advantage of having the joystick. We have it really easy to press those buttons. The more buttons we can easily press, the better. All right. Is this going to be a good landing? I hope so. Oh no, there is an airplane coming in my direction. I'm just... Okay, it took off. That should never happen in practice. Yeah. It maybe helps if I listen to the radio, to the tower. Okay. So, yep, it's going down, it's going down. It's there. Okay. It's not the most perfect landing, but I've seen better, worse things. Okay, let's brake. Let's brake. Okay, there is an airplane coming. Okay, I'll just stop here. So, parking brakes. And go to Control R. In the Control R, this is the replay. So let's have a look at what I've done. So here, yeah, the helicopter view. We can put the speed a little bit faster. So let's go from the takeoff. I think here I was explaining quite a lot of things here in the beginning. So, and let's look at my horrible takeoff. There we go. A little bit slow, so you can see it's I'm trying to make it in the center line, but it's definitely not going so well. And now I'm completely out. Yes, there are worse things. So again here, the rudder. The rudder, the elevator, the ailerons, and here are the flaps. So let's try to go a little bit faster to show the landing. Okay, there we go. It's a really nice flight simulator, especially very good, especially because it's for free. Here you see the flaps. You remember I lowered the notch. And it's not a very stable approach, but we are getting there. So let's go a little bit to the side and try to see here the landing. Okay, did I fly? Yeah, oops, I tried to flare a little bit. Okay, there we go. It was not here. It could have been worse. Okay, so there are worse things. So it's going a little bit back and forth, but it's okay. This video is quite long now, so I'll just keep it here. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have some questions or comments, please use the space down below. Otherwise, thank you and see you next time. Bye bye.